What's up, everybody? Today we are going to attempt a shop up. Oh, shit. This right here is my original dust collection system, a 2-gallon shop vac, which is pretty anemic, and I have to empty it quite often when I'm running projects. So I finally got an upgrade. By upgrade, I mean probably a piece of garbage. There we go. Oh, well, let's take it apart. Aha! So what we have here is an old central vacuum unit from my parents' old farmhouse. They did some remodeling on an old house that was on their property, and this used to be the central vacuum unit, which, if I understand how it worked, it was like this was set at some point in the house, and all the rooms had different outlets in the walls, kind of like a vent, and you would just plug it up to any vent, and then a series of tubes and whatnot would send all your trash to this baby. And I've already plugged it up. It does turn on, but there's a lot of, I guess, just residual garbage in it, being probably 30 to 40 years old, probably older than that, I don't know. Let's see. Model number doesn't really indicate what year it was made or anything like that. But we're just going to pop the lid off and see if there's anything inside that might cause an issue. I've had this thing in the back of my truck for a while now. I just figured, you know what? What better time than now than to actually see if this thing works. I'm definitely going to have to rig up a new hose because the other one just sort of was dry rotted all to pieces. So I went to Lowe's and picked up a hose that I know is smaller, but I hope I can make some connections and just sort of neck it down with some, probably some duct tape, and neck it down to the proper size that goes to the side of my CNC. Okay. Aha! Yes. I had a feeling it was going to be dirt daubers. It looks like I was right. Okay. I don't think anything's alive in here. I mean, it's old, but I don't really see anything wrong. I mean, there's nothing exposed. All the wires seem pretty clean. Just, you know, covered in old dirt dauber nests. Probably not the most proper way to get rid of these things, you know, with a Phillips head screwdriver. But they knock off pretty easy. That's definitely going to break something. Pretty simple. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Okay. This lid back on. You know, normally I take such shallow cuts on my router that if I absolutely have to use the dust collection, I will, but Most of the time I just keep an air nozzle nearby and just spray it clean every once in a while just to get the chips out of the way. What in the world? Did I put this thing on backwards? Oh. Okay. But I think this is going to be a lot easier to deal with, and the capacity is a lot bigger than that itty bitty 2-gallon shop vac I've been using. Does that look right? No. There we go. Maybe it only goes one way. Only has 3 screws. I don't know where the 4th one went. Ooh, okey-dokey. Oh. Sweep that up later. All right, nothing's loose. All right. Now let's see what we can do about this hose. Pocket knife out. Little stink bug. Ooh. Golly, it is frigid in here. Barely feel my fingers. Okay. All right, well, it looks like this hose is going to fit pretty snug without any sort of modification over here, because it's definitely, this is a Craftsman hose on a Kenmore something. Kenmore vacuum. So we're going to use as little duct tape as we have to. So I'm going to go ahead and hang this thing up and see how she runs. All right, here we are at phase 2. And you can see it's on the wall. Hasn't fallen yet. I've had to mount a power strip right there to actually get power to, because that is a really short freaking cable. But this is where the machine rests. It used to sit right here, but as you can see, a lot of stuff falls through the little threaded insert holes when you're machining and stuff that, since I never moved the table, I never really thought to look at. But I'm just going to go ahead and suck this stuff up, see how she runs. That worked out pretty good. It's very loud, so definitely want to use some ear pro while this thing's going. But I think this is going to work out just fine. Oops, work out just fine. Now you can see here, whatever this little mount thing is, I don't even remember if this came with a machine or not. I don't know where I got this from. I had to neck it down to fit the old one. And looks like I'm going to have to do some grinding or some sanding work. Maybe just straight up whittle it with a pocket knife to get that thing to fit snug. But it looks like I'm going to have enough slack, just as it sits, to reach the whole table. I mean, it's like, what, 12 by 12, 14 by 14? It's not a big machining area, but it's got plenty of slack. You know, I can pull it out, hit the other areas around the table, and since that little bitty vacuum is now cleared up wherever it went, since it's now free to go wherever, I can just vacuum as I please. But I think this is going to be a lot more efficient than what I was using. Okay, now that we got everything set back up and somewhat clean, we're now going to attempt to make some chips. I managed to get this thing hooked up with 0 mechanical connections. It is all just spite and friction. So no duct tape. So we're going to see how this goes. I might have to add some duct tape somewhere along in the line, but we're just going to see how she goes. Yeah, did what it was supposed to. Yeah. Well, that's the new setup. I think it did okay. Gonna keep tinkering with it. Make sure it's getting enough power and everything. I don't think this setup's gonna work. I think it's just necked down too much to actually get enough suction to evacuate all the chips properly, because it just sort of sat in there until the depth got deep enough to where it was sort of capturing it without having the spinning of the tool just sort of blow it out like a fan. I was actually getting enough suction to pull everything up. But as far as the new setup goes, I'm going to keep it like this for a while. This guy's the subject of a new video I'm working on. It'll be coming out either directly before or directly after this one does, so keep an eye out for that one. So that's it for the new vacuum. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.